All right, so let's take a quick moment, sit back, and let's understand this very, very, very important concept. And this will absolutely surprise you because it did me. Most people, like us, we aren't building a life. We're actually chasing one. We're chasing attention, relationships. We're chasing validation. We're chasing something that gives us a temporary sense of control. And this is what we do. We tend to call it effort. We tend to call it love. We tend to call it ambition, but it's really not. It's called instability, because anything you have to chase constantly is something that you don't actually have. And if you don't understand that, you will spend tons and tons of time, years, exhausting yourself trying to hold on to something that was never aligned for you in the first place. Don't get me wrong, right? If we were to be human, we would understand this, that chasing doesn't feel wrong at first. It actually feels like you care, like you're trying to put in effort, right? That's the key word, effort. But let's look closely. Chasing always puts you in a certain position. And I like to call it the position of reaction. So you're waiting, you're checking, is this person going to call me back? Is this person not going to call me back? Are they going to respond in a certain way? Well, check this. Have you ever been in love with someone or in a serious relationship and you were waiting by the phone for a text message or a call? Or how about this? Someone who's very, very important to you says that they're going to call you back at a certain time, and they don't. Do you get very irritated, sad, anxious? Soon you start to begin to build this reaction to their response before you even have a chance to speak to them. You're basically adjusting your behavior based on someone else's response. That's not leadership. That's what we call dependency. And the more you chase, the more you start to lower your standards just to maintain access to that certain person or thing. You say yes when you should ultimately say no. You tolerate things that you normally wouldn't. You start negotiating with your own values. So not all at once, but slowly, and it compounds over time. And that's how people start to lose themselves in their identity. Not in one decision, but in repeated compromise. So let's focus and work on restructuring your mind. You're not supposed to chase everything. You're supposed to choose. Choosing is structured. Choosing is intentional. Choosing means this aligns with my standard. This is what I want. Chasing means I hope this works, but in the meantime, I'm going to still attempt to chase. Those are two completely different ways to live. When you decide to choose, you operate from clarity. You understand the situation, the perspective. When you decide to chase, you operate from emotion. And emotion without structure, what we spoke about in our first episode, will always lead you to what we call, again, instability. All right, so you may ask, Dr. Simeon, what do you mean? And so because I am a doctor, I would like to think about this more than just mindset. This is neurological. This is essentially how your brain works. So when you chase, especially in relationships, your brain gets pulled into a dopamine-driven cycle, all right? And for those who are unfamiliar with what dopamine is or what it does, it's basically a feel-good hormone. It essentially helps to regulate pleasure, motivation, memory, movement, moods, all those things. So it's a reward-based system, but it could also lead to negative things if it's overstimulated. All right. So here's what happens. And let's kind of go through this systematically. So when you get a response, you get a dopamine spike. When you don't get a response, your anxiety starts to increase. Say, for instance, you try or attempt to reach out again, hoping to relieve that tension and get that spike. Now your brain is no longer evaluating the situation. It's trying to regulate what we call discomfort, all right, because of all the anxiety that you're feeling. This creates what's called an intermittent reinforcement. It's very similar. It's a very similar pattern seen in such as gambling, addiction cycles, and get this, toxic relationships or toxic attachments. You're rewarding just enough to stay engaged, but not enough to be stable. So you keep chasing, not because it's right, but because your brain has been conditioned to react in that cycle, to seek the next response. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the harder it is to walk away. All right, let me make this a little bit more real. And I hope personally that I can be real with y'all, because I am human too, and I make some of the same crazy, dumb mistakes. People think that because I have that doctor before my name, those initials, that my life is a lot different. Well, news flash. All right, let's get into this. So there was a time in my life where I was chasing a partner, and I didn't see it that way at first. I told myself I was just committed. I told myself I was putting in effort. I told myself if I just stay consistent, this will work. But what was I really doing? What I was doing was, again, chasing. I was the one initiating most of the time. I checked in. I was the one trying to keep the connection alive. And every time I got a response, it felt like confirmation. I was happy, like progress, like I was getting closer and closer and closer. But what I didn't realize was I wasn't building anything. I was maintaining something that required constant effort just to exist. And that's the trap, because intermittent attention creates emotional attachment. So when things were good, things felt really good. And when they weren't, I felt like I needed to do more. So I did. I ultimately adjusted my time. I adjusted my energy. I adjusted my expectations. And eventually I started adjusting my standard. That's when it gets dangerous, because once you start to adjust your standards begins to move. You'll start to accept anything that keeps the connection alive. And I can remember being mentally drained, not from work, not from life, but trying to keep something going that should have required mutual alignment. And the moment that hit me, it was very simple. I realized that I was putting in consistent effort into something that was inconsistent by nature. And no matter how much I did, it never created stability. That's when I had to stop. Not because I didn't care, let's get that straight, but because I finally recognized that this didn't meet my standard. And I was the only one ignoring that. So I would like to make this a little bit more practical, and based off of my own personal experiences, I want to give you 3 reasons why you should not chase. Don't do it. Number 1, chasing distorts your self-perception. Get it? When you chase, you start measuring your value based on someone else's responses. If they respond, you feel good. If they don't, you question yourself. That's dangerous, because your identity becomes tied to external validation. Number 2, chasing rewards inconsistency. The more you chase, the more you tolerate inconsistency. And what you tolerate, you normalize. All right. Now, your standard isn't based on what's right. Your standard is based on what you're used to. So stop chasing. And number 3, chasing creates emotional exhaustion. You're constantly thinking, constantly analyzing, constantly trying to adjust. That's not sustainable. And anything that requires that level of effort just to function is not aligned. You're just going to end up with insomnia like me. All right, so because I gave you 3 reasons why you should not chase, let's get into how to improve with 3 ways you can shift out of chasing. All right, so this is how we shift out. Number 1, define your standard before your emotions get involved. Do me a favor, write it down if you have to. What do you require? Consistency? Mine was communication. Most important for me. Alignment? Question mark. If it's not clear, trust me, you'll default to chasing. Number 2, observe behavior, not words. Chasing listens to the potential. Choosing evaluates patterns. If it's inconsistent, well, then that's your answer. And number 3, detach from outcomes. You don't need it to work. You need it to be aligned. And if it doesn't, you move on. There's no negotiations. There's no overthinking. We already have our answer. All right, so in closing, you don't need to chase better. You need to choose better or choose differently. Because the moment you stop chasing, you regain clarity. You regain control. You regain your standard, which is important. And once you operate from that, you don't need to force anything at all, because what aligns will meet you there. So do me a favor, keep that internal standard. Stop chasing what responds and start choosing what aligns. Period.